Shamak, I'll tell you one thing. I'm sick of all these come here and say the matches are going on too long and they can't stay awake and they're yawning and they're dying and the kids can't stay awake, can't go to school. What is this rubbish that's going on? Kids can't go to school, I can't go to work. What are we doing? We're watching the game, we're getting enjoyment from the game, we're enjoying the game, and I stay from the beginning, pre-toss, all the way to post-match and give you every single ball, every reference to context of what happened. I bring it back to the viewer at 3, 4, 5 in the morning without fail. If I can do it, everyone can do it. So I don't hear this about long matches, late night. Rubbish. It's absolute rubbish, as far as I'm concerned.
When I called your house last night, your wife said that you were already asleep and this was like before the toss. So,
Which number do you have?
the one that I always called, the one that I called you on earlier today.
Do you have a picture? We have a topic, and who's going to give it to us?
I have a topic, Cyrus.
Yes, the man named after Javagal. Go on.
IPL games are taking way more than 3 hours, which they're supposed to finish in. Sometimes it's going on till midnight. It's around 4 hours since they start. A lot of coaches have spoken about, a lot of players have come out and said there need to be some penalties given for slow over rates, apart from monetary. So we need to discuss what can be done.
It's just getting longer and longer. Why are we taking so long?
Not sure. The timeouts have been there before. You account for those. So, yeah, it's been way too slow.
The last 5-6 overs are always the longest.
There will be a little bit of extra time when the game's a bit tighter, but no excuse for the amount of time that some of the teams are taking. BCCI has got to do something, or the IPL got to do something, and the monetary fines are of no use really.
What's happening?
Look, what's happening is that the officials aren't actually in control of what's going on. I mean, giving a fine to franchises that are already filthy rich is a waste of time. For me, in the Big Bash, it's a good system where I've captained in Big Bash and you're under time pressure. So the umpire actually tells you whether you're 1 over down or 1 over up after every over as captain. So you're constantly in the hustle time to get your troops moving around.
What's the penalty though?
The penalty is that if you get one slap on the wrist, next time you actually miss a game.
We've been told 20 minutes is what the break is now, but the umpires can bring it down to 10. So that's 10 minutes they can give us back, but they don't. So Ajit, why don't the umpires shorten everything?
Not sure. I don't know.
Are they tired?
There's no reason. I don't think there's anything that helps by the game going any longer.
Actually, Tom Moody, who coaches in the CPL as well, Haji will know that they dock net run rate if you exceed a certain time limit, which is a genuine penalty that teams will not take so lightly.
So
the longer you go on, the net run rate gets docked by a few runs. So
you can actually lose.
It's actually a penalty on your points table.
I like this.
For me, it's time. I mean, it's pretty simple. The objective is to get the game done and dusted for entertainment values. If you can't do it, there has to be a punishment.
Maybe we could allow mobile phones. I think they should, because this rushing by the wicketkeeper all the way to the fast bowler at the top of his mark and rushing back.
Send him a text on what to do.
Send him a text.
FaceTime. But then what about the influence, of course, of broadcasters and media? Because that is a huge one too that I think people need to take into consideration. We see it and we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, it's too slow. I think there's got to be a collective shift from everybody, so players as well as on-field monitoring. I think there's a little bit of broadcasting as well. There are times when you're waiting to come back. So as a collective, I think the whole thing can be sped up. I think when we're edging up close to 4 hours, I think we're defeating the purpose of a short game.
Maybe you could go back to what ICC used to do earlier. I remember '99 World Cup. Ajit was part of that game against Zimbabwe. They were docked 5 overs. We ended up
but that penalty affected only the team batting.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm just saying, if
slowly
that's sort of
bowling
a penalty as a player, what would...
I feel that penalty should happen immediately. Something in that match or maybe points, not even net run rate. Because I tell you what happened in net run rate. If teams are really doing well and they are very high on points, they won't care about net run rate. So it will still not solve the full problem.
I'm sure people still turn up at the grounds and there's enough viewership for the games. But you want to try and make the game quicker. That was the idea of having a T20 game, to attract more people. Then why drag it for no reason?
I go to sleep at 7:30 in the evening, so I have to watch the replay. Okay, 7:45, but that's only because of the heat.
Well, then you're not the target audience anyway. It doesn't care if it goes. If you go to sleep,
it's the youth, mate. It's the youth.
If it needs to affect that game or impact that game, like Gaurav says, so if the umpire gives him a slap on the wrist, like Haji says they do in the BPL, you're 1 over behind. So the amount of overs that you're behind, how many times you give in, you lose those many wickets in your chase, and the opposing team decides which wickets.
You can join the ICC social
You could end
media
this
team.
match very quickly. You just need a really bad captain. All right, we go around the room quickly. Any solutions? Last quick word. Any solutions?
Dock run rate, then
You
dock
already
points.
said that.
Yeah.
Same thing. The Moody effect.
Just hurry up.
But no punishments. You would like the punishment.
Get
Are
on
you
with
just
it.
talking about the show?
Do your
not
job.
the-
Yeah, I think he's talking about our segment now instead of actually the matches.
I mean, there's going to be an odd game where you go over the stipulated time. But if there are habitual sort of offenders, there are certain teams whose games are always dragged. There's got to be some punishment for the captain or some in form of some runs in that particular game.
Alexis.
The runs probably would be the most acceptable one I can think of now. Anything else is just doing too much.
Okay.
I'll leave it to the wise people at the BCCI and IPL. Come up with a
Your
solution.
sarcasm is noted. You will never work with these people again. Find hockey as a better platform for yourself.
Dock runs or wickets or points, but something immediately.
Strong penalties.
Follow the lead of the ECB. Invent the 100 or something else that fits in with 2 hours or 3 hours or something.
Into the Valley of
Yeah,
Death. Road.
T10.
The 100.
100, yeah.
All right.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.